Hello everybody, I'm Brian from Orchids by Brian, and today I am at Waldor Orchids to celebrate their 100th anniversary at their almost fall open house. This is an amazing, amazing event. They have guest vendors from Florida, California, here in the Mid-Atlantic, outreach judging from the American Orchid Society, and of course, incredible blooms and exclusive offerings for this event. So we're gonna go check out what they have in bloom inside Waldor's greenhouses first, and then we're gonna meet some of the vendors and check out the outreach judging. So with that, let's not waste any more time. I wanna go see some blooms. I know you do too. So here we go. Let's go check out Waldor Orchids for their 100th anniversary open house. So here we are at Waldor Orchids 100-year anniversary open house. What an amazing show. I'm going to show you all the plants that Waldor has in bloom here today. And then we're going to end the tour speaking with some of the guest vendors that Waldor has brought in from all over the country. Some folks locally here to the Mid-Atlantic, but also some folks from California and Florida. So I can't wait to show you those folks. They are awesome. They have some very cool stuff. But anyway, check out these beautiful flowers. BLC Sayoko Volcano Queen. Huge flowers on a pretty small plant. And of course over here, as I was showing you when we first started, some of these beautiful Dendrobiums. These tend to have tons and tons of flowers. They're fairly easy to grow too. There it is, Dendrobium, Spring Dream, Apollon. The show this year was absolutely packed, and the Waldor team did a great job planning. There's still tons of orchids in bloom, lots in bud. So when you come to Waldor Orchids, check out these orchids that are in bud. Don't shy away from plants that might not be in bloom at this time, because you'd be surprised what you can find. Now check out this guy. I'm going to turn the flower a little bit so you can see. Look at this. That is beautiful. What a flower. I love that dark magenta lip on a light purple flower. Let's see if I can grab the name here on this one. Waldor's plants are so well established. You see the name? You see there? It's a tough one to show. It's grown very well. Look at this flower. We're going to show a better view of this guy when we go around the other side of this bench. But like I said, it's a packed house today. Here's the name.
It does. It's lovely.
Of this. How beautiful is that?
Is it by okay? By 10.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff at Waldor. And then this guy, I'm going to turn here and show you. Wow. Waldor is a phenomenal nursery here in Linwood, New Jersey. If you have an opportunity to stop by, if you're in New York or New Jersey, stop in and visit, because you will be blown away by the orchids that they have in bud and in bloom. Like I said yesterday, they had a ton of plants in flower, but it has been packed, which I love to see. Here's some beautiful Cymbidiums. They're in bud, they're on their way. I think these are some of the earlier flowering Cymbidiums. Just so you're aware of the name, this is Cymbidium Orange Shining. And then here's another one right here, Cymbidium China Cat Sunflower. Also in bloom, or in bud I should say here. Really special. Okay, let's go over here. Like I said, we're going to go out of order a little bit to show you some of the flowers. Now here's a unique bloom. Really pretty. And the fragrance of some of these plants is spectacular. This is a Cattleya Leopoldii alba. You know, the tag's faded a little bit there, but the bloom, so unique. Look at that. Really pretty. And they have some right here. These are Cattleya bicolor, available for $20, which is awesome. And then down here, of course, we have some Phalaenopsis. Look at these. Beautiful flowers. You can see. I love these. These are beautiful. Really, really nice. Here's a Cattleya Aucklandii crossed with Gutulata. 2 buds. $35. Look at this. Look at how healthy a plant that is. And like I said, they also have a variety outside of Cattleyas. Like, they even have Dracula Lotax. And these are in spike. So if you're looking for a Dracula, the monkey face orchid tends to grow cooler, very humid, but Waldor, the Lotax, is actually more tolerant of warmer conditions. So it's a little bit easier to grow than some of its relatives. All right, now down here we have more orchids in bud and in bloom. Check out this guy. How pretty is that? Nice Brassavola hybrid. These guys tend to be fragrant at night. Let me see if I can grab the name tag of that guy. There it is. Very nice. They're so elegant, those flowers. We're going to come down this way. We have some novelty Phalaenopsis that we'll show you, and then we're going to go into the second aisle, which I know you're all anxiously waiting for because that is where the crazy amazing blooms are. But beautiful, beautiful phals. Mini teacup Phalaenopsis. Of course, super easy to grow. Beautiful flowers. Now check out this guy here. That is a beautiful bloom. And this is the name here. Cattleyas zebris, Walkeriana by Warneri, HCC, AOS, award-winning orchid. Speaking of beautiful, holy cow. That is absolutely stunning. Purple. Oh my gosh. That is gorgeous. $65 for this massive plant. I don't know if we'll be able to pull a tag on that one, so if it interests you, and it's still here, you have to reach out to Waldor. Here's one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, look at the speckling on this plant. This is a beautiful bifoliate. It just opened. It has a delicious floral fragrance. How spectacular. This is from Cow Orchid they picked up. Here's the name. Caudabec by Cattleya harrisoniana by LC Maui Plum Volcano Queen. That is beautiful. What a nice plant that is. Now over here we have some Dendrobium. Not in bloom, but another unique, wonderful species related to Collagenes, and they are in bud, and I do see some over there in bloom. So we'll check those out here in a second. But look at the size of this massive, massive Cattleya flower. I don't know if you can appreciate the actual size of that because it is huge, as big as my hand. Beautiful purple flower. And here's the name. Really, really nice. FCC AOS awarded plant. All right, now over here we have these beauties. There we go. Slide over here. Wow, look at that dark maroon color with the purple lip. These are really pretty. Now let's see. Here's the name. Elsie Summerland. Summerland Girl is the variety. Okay, now let's head over this way. Another wonderful mini cat. Look at that. So adorable. Wonderful pink color. Great hybrid. Like I said, they have an awesome variety of plants. Oh my gosh, look at that. Wow. That is incredible. Cerulean orchid flower. What is this? Cattleya labiata cerulean. Wow. That's incredible. Look at those blooms. Oh my gosh. 3, 4 massive flowers. Oh my gosh. No worries. Wow. Now here's that Dendrobium. Dendrobium magnum. Let's see if I can show you the flowers. There we go. These are wonderful orchid species. Very fragrant. Grows into a very nice specimen pretty fast. And you can see here's some of those flowers just opening. Wow. All right, now back over this way. Check out this wonderful Essie Beaufort. Great flares. That's a beautiful little flower. And they have several available. Wow. Here's a Cattleya lutemaniana cerulean. Beautiful lip. The lutemanianas are gorgeous. I picked up a lutemaniana last time I was here. I'm very pleased with how it's growing. And check out this mini Cattleya with dark red blooms. Wow. Botanara. Paradise Rose My Valentine by Labacensis. Or Labenkreis. Diamond Orchids. And then look at this cute little guy here. This is Seagull's Apricot by Mini Pet. Has some sophronitis in it, so it stays very, very compact. Doesn't get any larger than that.
Me too. I'm breaking my credit card actually at this point.
They are seedlings, so there could be some variation in color, but I have one in my collection and they are beautiful. Now here's a nice dark burnt orange, perfect for fall Cattleya flower. Wow. That is so nice. Okay, now here's another wonderful mini cat. Look at those dark red flares on an overall purple flower. How unique is that? That is so cool. Spotting our Rubescent Fire, April Rocket by Loud9. Unbeatable. Really, really nice. And they have a couple seedlings of those available here. Really nice, only $20. And like I said, these are not too far from blooming size. Honestly, some of them here are blooming size. But within the next year, you'll have flowers just like that. Sorry. Here's a beautiful flower too. Look at this. Botanara Higher Multiplier. SLC Pink Doll by Rubescens. Now up here, a wonderful Oncidium. It's a little bright up there, so we'll see if we can actually highlight that flower. And here's the man himself.
By the way,
Yes.
James Scully,
Yeah.
maybe 40 years ago, where that plant came from.
No way.
Mulier Oncidium.
Wow. Beautiful stuff. And for sale here at Waldor's 100th anniversary open house. So nice. Oh my gosh. You have this guy here. Look at that. Every color variety you can imagine they have here at Waldorf. And beautiful stuff to add to your collection. Now over on this side, this guy's just about to open. Oh my gosh, well you can see, look at that flower. Holy cow, let's see if I can move this to the side, get a better view. Oh yeah, that's spectacular. That is so pretty. Wow. Cattleya maxima, Oncidiums Hercules. Wonderful species. They also have Cenotes here, available at Waldorf. These have very unique little flowers, but none of them are in bloom right now, but lots in bud. Look at this. Holy cow. That is a flower. It's a slightly lighter maroon, but that lip is incredible. With that orange and dark red, that is very pretty. And now here is a Cattleya Orchids. Wow. The lip on Orchids is one of the most incredible that I've seen on a Cattleya orchid flower. I'm pretty sure these guys bloom in the summertime. Wow. Here's the name of this guy here. Cattleya Orchids. And then if we come over this way, wonderful yellow with dark maroon lip, 3 flowers on this spike. Wow. Here's the name of this one. Patinara Emma Marcos Volcano Queen. Really nice. Nice lip. Alright, now I'm going to turn over on this side because I did miss a few flowers here. Here's BLC. Hamlin's Magic. Some breeding from our buddies at Bredren that you'll see actually meet later on today in the video. But look at that color. And speaking of color, these guys are amazing as well. Look at this. Look at the spots. Orange and maroon with that purple lip. This is BLC. Wanei Leopard Tsinghua HCC AOS Waxy Spotted Flowers Compact Growing Cattleya. Stays pretty small. It has those wonderful speckled flowers. It can have multiple flowers on a spike. Now this guy we highlighted on the other side, but here's a better view of the blooms. Really, really pretty. Okay, let's keep going this way. Check out this salmon-colored bloom. So delicate. But that lip is what stands out to me. It's like a burst of yellow inside of that lip. That is a special flower. This is a Patinara Christopher Hauserman, EFG. Make Should put the tag back in there. There we go. Here's another red Cattleya. Definitely, the reds are dominating the show this year. Wow. That is amazing. BLC. Memorial Richard Nakanishi. Here's a cute little mini cat that's just about to open up. Flower is small. This is SLC Angel Eyes by Potnara Virginia Dickey Diamond Orchids from our buddies at Sunset Valley over in California. Now let's head back over here and check out some more spectacular purple Cattleya flowers. I'm amazed at these lips. I don't know why, but that's what I'm drawn to today. That is so pretty. And if you haven't watched it yet already, watch the video that I did with Dave here at Waldor about pollinating and breeding orchids and what makes an orchid awardable. And one of the things that you'll learn in that video that's pretty interesting is this color is almost like a runway for insects to go inside to where the pollen is located to encourage the pollination of these orchids. Super, super cool fact. It's amazing what nature has adapted itself to promote. That is beautiful. That's actually for the smaller flower. This large flower here that I was showing you is a different name. And here is that, BLC Pink Empress. Huge flower. And you can see the variation in Pink Empress. Now up here, look at this guy. I think this is another Orzowicii. Oh, no, this is Cattleya hardiana. It does have Orzowicii in its background, if I recall correctly. No shortage of blooms here at Waldor. This is a Potnara Mitsuo Akatsuka Volcano Queen. Now here's a wonderful Cattleya bicolor, species Cattleya, bifoliate. I love the spotting that you can see on each one of these petals. Summer bloomer, and they have these guys available here at Waldor. Now below us in the trays are some multifloral Paphiopedilums. And these are beautiful plants too. Huge, huge multifloral paphs. Let's see if I can pull a name here. There it is. I had a feeling it had Loiret in its background. Very nice. Here's some Zygopetalum hybrids. Those are beautiful though. Look at that. The dark green flowers and that purple lip. Really, really special. Now over on this other side, for Brassavola lovers, we have another beautiful Brassavola. This is Cattleya Small World Sweet Spot by Brassavola Richard Mueller. Look at this. Oh man. I like the thicker flowers on this guy. This is another Small World Sweet Spot by Richard Mueller. You can see the variation in the flowers. Here's some Oncidium CQ Marguerite, Twinkle by Sotoanum. Adorable mini fragrant flowers. And now we're going over here into this house, and this is one that I'm very excited about, because this is a pretty special orchid. This is Sophronitis orbiter, Coccinea by Cernua, Tokyo Orchid Nursery. This is a very uncommon miniature Cattleya to find. They stay super, super small. Really, really pretty. And also, like I said, the variety here at Waldor, here is a Bulbophyllum, I think this is Capense. Let me grab the title, but check out that little flower. I don't know how well it's focusing for me, but Bulbophyllum cuprium, sorry, not Capense. Thinking about my African orchid species from earlier. Bulbophyllum cuprium. Here's some Maxillaria tenuifolia species. Coconut orchid smells like chocolate. And then, of course, Psychopsis Kalihi, Cremeriana by Pilpilio. Wonderful primary hybrid. Psychopsis. Check out those flowers. Those are so alien. There is no orchid flower that I can think of. Looks like a wasp. Like a huge wasp. Would never want to meet a wasp that looks like that, though. Now again, just you can take a look at Waldor. They have some 100-year anniversary special releases here. This is Cattleya Carla Off, registered in 1983, classic semi-alba Cattleya. And then they also had in the front there that I missed, Deborah Off Mill Pond Selfings, which is very, very unique. Love to see that. Here's a West African species, Sotorchis chiluana. These are really unique little flowers, and check out this huge nectar spire. Really cool. Look at that. Wow. Super cool. Here's Angraecum, Oncidium, a CCE from the AOS. And then, of course, we're going to come down this way. We have some more Psychopsis. This is Psychopsis Mendenhall. Very, very cool. All right. We are going to take a spin over to the next greenhouse. Now we're walking through another greenhouse here at Waldor for their open house, and there's quite a few monster specimens that I do want to highlight in here, including this beautiful flared Cattleya. Let's see if I can zoom in and get that to focus. Wowee, that is amazing. One thing that's great about Waldor, and I'm sure it's evident in this video, is that you can find massive standard Cattleyas, you can find miniature Cattleyas, compact growers, all the way to Paphiopedilums, Draculas, a great variety of orchids here, and the vendors are awesome. Like I said, we're gonna chat with all of the vendors, and they're having educational outreach judging at the show this year, which is super cool. It gives folks an opportunity to learn about the AOS judging process, what goes into getting a plant awarded, of which I'm always interested in, and so we're gonna go and chat with some judges later on in this video, where we can actually learn a little bit more about outreach judging and some of the opportunities in this area and across the country where you can learn more. Oh my gosh, the fragrance on this orchid is crazy. This is BLC Young's Island Newberry. It is a strong fragrance of grape. You can see lots of orchid seedlings, large standard Cattleyas and Cyclias. Here's a wonderful Encyclia here. How wonderful is that? That is so cool. Let's see. This might be, get you a better view. Wow. I love Encyclias. They are wonderful flowers. This is Encyclia, let's see, Mapuena, I think, Mapuena. So pretty. And I see a nice little Vanda up there. Let's see if I can zoom in and show you that guy. So pretty. Oh my gosh. Waldor Orchids open on Fridays and Saturdays, 10 to 4. So if you're ever in the area and you want to stop by and see what they have in bloom, you 100% should do that, because this place is heaven for orchid growers. Look at this. I think this is a Momolani Rainbow, which is one of my favorite orchids from Waldor. It is Momolani Rainbow H. Super fragrant, very floriferous. Of course, down here we have some more orchids that aren't in bloom, but don't miss your opportunity to check out some of these orchids that may not be in bloom, but are still spectacular. Awesome place. Now in this greenhouse, this is where they have some of their specialty orchids, some of the really unique collector pieces that you'll find. And they do have some amazing stuff in here. This is where I try to peek around and look and see what they have that might not be in bloom. Like I said, I always emphasize that. Don't just stick to the plants you see in flower. I understand the appeal, but you can sometimes find some really wonderful orchids that are out of flower. Like I was looking at some of these. These are some wonderful Elsie Lovenot, Orchid Alley, Cerulean, Royalston. But again, this is their greenhouse where they have those. So when you come and visit Waldor, definitely stop in. Check out some of the plants that they have down here. There's always some in bloom. Depending on the season, some things can be even more in bloom than others. But again, they have really, really great stuff. Of course, there's even more stuff outside. Here you can see Waldor. When the wintertime comes, it's even more full of beautiful, beautiful plants. But this is one of my favorite greenhouses to stop into. All right, let's go for a walk. How about that? So we're gonna go for a walk right through the greenhouse. We're gonna go into the next greenhouse, which in the spring and fall, winter is cooler growing. That's where they grow many of their Cymbidium orchids. So we'll check those out, but check this out. This is one that isn't in a greenhouse, but really, really nice little plant. I think it's a Sobralia, if I'm right. It is a Sobralia, see? Sometimes I know my stuff. All right, so over here, this is the cooler growing greenhouse where they have some of their Cymbidiums, their Dendrobiums, and they have some Cattleyas as well up in here. Check that guy. That is beautiful. That is a Cattleya Anzac Orchidhurst. Very uncommon, very highly desirable orchid hybrid. Like I said, Waldor. Now imagine this in the springtime when all of these are in bloom. It is just bonkers. But they will be coming. February, March, this place full of Cymbidium flowers. So stay tuned for that. We will definitely be highlighting the blooms at that point. Hi, Sarah. Hey. So then we're going to go over here. This is the Phalaenopsis house and also their nursery where they have many of their seedlings. But let's check out some of the Oncidiums that are in bloom in here. These are wonderful. We have Oncidiums and Paphiopedilums as well. These look like some Brassia. No fragrance that I can smell right now. So nice. Of course, here are their Phalaenopsis. And of course, you can guess who we find in this greenhouse. Cassidy! Checking out all of these beautiful Phalaenopsis, a sea of blooming orchids. So pretty. These are really, really nice. This is the Pulcherima Cerulean Splash. Nice.
Beautiful flower.
I like this flower too. It's so delicate.
And that name is right there.
Oh, Valbellina Pink. Nice. That's one that I've been looking for. Species Phalaenopsis. Very, very pretty.
That is one happy plant.
Speaking of happy plants, look at these huge novelty white phals.
On sale for $18.
$18 for huge phals. Nice.
Each plant has got at least one, sometimes two huge spikes with multiple flowers off it. That is a deal and a half.
Nice. Over here we have some more teacup phals. Some of these might be fragrant, so if you're looking at these Phalaenopsis, give them a sniff, you never know.
I forgot to mention that this guy is fragrant.
That's right, this one does have a fragrance. Let me
Smells
see.
almost
it's a
like
very
sweet lemons.
Sweet fragrance, yeah, sweet
Very, very
lemony
sweet.
fragrance. That's Valbellina Pink species, and then we have some other species over here. Philippenensis. We have some in spike. Phalaenopsis. This Tetrapsis is just opening up. It's got a couple buds coming.
Sea of Shirleyana.
Really nice Schilleriana. And then we have one of Cassidy's favorites.
One of my
These
favorites.
waxy red flowers. Really, really nice.
It's called Fancy something or other. Fancy. Oh, that one doesn't have a
See
name
a
on
tag
it.
here.
However,
That's okay. They're beautiful though. And then here's the KS Super Eagle
yeah.
over here, but these are also not in bloom. Did you find the name of this guy? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there it is.
That's the name of this one that we just showed you. I happen to know because I own it and I bought it here. So I know that that's the flower for that one.
Nice. And then here are some of those KS Super Eagle. Fortunately missed the blooms on those, but some of them have spikes, so there will be opportunities for more flowers. Yeah, I like the red waxy flowers on that one too. I've contemplated buying one myself. You never know, I might add it to my wall, my plant wall, my green wall of phals, although this pink Bellina is tempting.
This is pretty.
It is a beautiful Phalaenopsis.
I like the pattern on
The
that
yellow and maroon, huge flowers. So pretty. And then this is different too. You can see a little bit of red streaking on these bottom two petals. Pretty cool. You can see it more pronounced on this flower here. And then that's beautiful too. Yeah, the salmon.
one. That is pretty. So it doesn't show up quite on camera as strongly as in person, but it's got this beautiful kind of pink peachy.
Yeah, the pink
the
peach
middle.
color is beautiful. You can see, look at these Oncidium spikes. Holy cow, they're
Like
probably 4
long.
feet tall, yeah. And there's some nice blooms down this way. Now this you might have seen in the Waldor Pollinating and Breeding Orchids video. This is their nursery. So you can see plants in plug trays to 2, 3, 4 inch pots. This is, I think, one of my favorites in the entire house. Look at that flower. Wow, that is spectacular. Tons of polka dots and speckles. Pink color with that purple, dark purple lip and almost a salmon color bloom.
Does it have a fragrance right now?
Oh, this is a Caudebec hybrid. Caudebec is beautiful. It does have a very interesting candy-like fragrance. It's very sweet, more sweet than other flowers that I've smelled. That's really interesting. Now over here, I know Cassidy is itching for me to show off this beauty. This is a Phalaenopsis Bellina, an AMAOS award-winning orchid.
It's a species.
Beautiful species, delicious fragrance. Look at the size of these leaves.
Got a bud there.
Wow.
It'll probably open in a couple weeks.
Yeah, nice bud on the way. And then here's Seth's Neotropical Blueberries, which love my Neotropical Blueberries. No blueberries yet, but they're coming, and they're cool. And I see a Bulbophyllum flower also on the way. Oh, looks like maybe it's opening up right now. Yeah, that's different. This is Bulbophyllum Tree Frog.
Brian,
Very, very cool bloom.
you've got to show that beautiful fowl.
Oh yes, let me see how I can get in there and show off that super dark and moody Phalaenopsis. Wow. That is beautiful.
That is the star of the show for me.
That is one of Cassidy's favorites, for sure. I'm not surprised. She likes the dark and moody flowers.
dark
Dark
and
and moody
moody.
red flowers. And over here, continuing on, this is more of the nursery where plants start to get a little bit larger in bigger pots. But we do have some
Oh yeah.
wonderful blooms in here to show off.
Look at.
Wow, now that is a really cool flower. I love like that pink vein that outlines each petal and the ruffles. And honestly, the flowers over here on the other side of this plant are
has
even
a-
more spectacular.
We have the name here too.
Wow. Look at this. I'll check out that name in 1 second. Look at the flower. Wowee. The lip is unreal. Here's the name. LC Briarleys Fairy Summer Spice. Amber Glow by Palolo Bronze. That's definitely a favorite. Now, we have a nice purple flower over here. Lots of standard cats in bloom in this house I'll be able to highlight. That's a huge flower. Massive bloom, delicious grape-like fragrance is how I would describe that. Nice ruffles. This is L.C. George Baldwin Scott. Very nice. Orchid flower. And I did see this. This is a wonderful plant. Kind of tricky to show the flower. Definitely doesn't do it justice from that angle. Let's see if I can lift it up. Wow, talk about dark and moody. Wow,
I can smell it from back here too.
Yeah, that's got a really
I'm like
strong
2 feet
fragrance.
away from that flower.
There's the name.
Scoop it.
Nice. I think I saw some in their other house that might have been for sale. I don't know if that one per se is for sale. And there's a nice yellow over here. Yellow bunch of flowers. This is the LC Sarah Rife, Waldor. Such a pretty bloom. I like that one. Again, I want to extend a absolutely huge thank you to Waldor Orchids for always allowing me to bring this amazing place to each and every one of you. They are impeccable growers, and we are very lucky to have them here in the Northeast. Wow, look at that. That looks to me like a Laelia purpurata, maybe. It has Laelia purpurata in it for sure.
Yep.
Wow, look at that. That's nice. This is an LC CG Roebling Beachview AMAOS variation Cerulean.
And then this is actually
Let me
what caught my
see.
eye. I'm not sure how we can
That's a
film
nice
it.
bloom.
I wonder if you could
Oh, it looks like it might be on its way out.
Oh yeah, it is on its way out. Still beautiful.
It is nice. And
And
check
that
out
spike
these
is
up
like
here.
2 feet long.
Oh my
Oh,
word.
yeah.
That is unbelievable. Wow, look at that bunch of flowers. There's got to be 10 flowers on that spike alone. Very floriferous flower.
It's cute.
Or orchid. Oh man, this one's just about opening up. These are really pretty. Amazing. They have a lot in bloom in this greenhouse today. It's like they knew their 100-year anniversary was coming up, and they needed to have all of their showstoppers blooming, including this. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. That is absolutely incredible. Wow. I hope that that shows up nicely for you all, because that is insane. What a bloom.
And there's the name.
There it is. Cattleya Martian. Lunar Cranberry, HCC AOS. Not surprising, but I think I see the most unbelievable bloom of this entire show. Look at all of these flowers.
That's one.
Can you hold that pot for me for a second?
One,
This
two,
is one plant.
5, 6, 7, 8,
Holy cow.
9, 10, 11. It's
That
got to be at least 15 flowers.
that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. I don't know what the name of this guy is, but I might need to add it to my collection. Maybe not this one per se, but a division of it.
Its name tag is a bit broken, but let's see if we can
Put it together. Oh, well, let's see. Cattleya Wallisii. Flamea, AMAOS. Wow.
And it is clear why that is an awarded plant.
Yeah. And check out this bloom. These dark, waxy bifoliates showing off. This is beautiful too. Nice. And then these are
Texture on the lip. That's amazing.
on its way out, but some of the flowers are still in decent quality right now. That's raspberry smoke. Really, really nice. Okay. Well, that almost concludes the video. I almost forgot this guy. I almost was gonna close it out in the greenhouse tour portion of our video, but I wanted to show off this beauty. One more dark and waxy red bloom.
Might be able
I have to
get the
zoom in
name.
on the name here. There it is, Summerland Girl. I did show that off in one of the other nurseries or greenhouses. Okay, well that's going to conclude the tour here of the greenhouses at Waldor. Now we're going to go over and chat with some of the growers, the orchid vendors that Waldor brought in to the show this year.
My name is Sarah Hurdell, and I brought a lot of habanerias. They are kind of my specialty at this point and most of my collection, but I'm not limited to just habanerias as far as orchids. So I have, many of my first orchids came from Leon Glitzenstein and his breeding, and he's from Central Pennsylvania. So that he did a lot of breeding with some of the first breeding with Janelle Haneyana, which is a nice compact little Thai species. Pink flowers, obviously. So most early habanerias were pink. I am not a fan of pink, but I do have a lot. I love them. The habanerias get away with it. So I'm working on doing some more, I call it real colors, but no. So more oranges and yellows and things that have different colors mixed in, with the sepals being a different color.
These are beautiful.
And the beautiful foliage. I'm also very much into foliage plants, so if it has the bonus of being, of having beautiful foliage and flowers, then I definitely am interested in that. So you're looking at one of the only fragrant habaneria species, and that's used in the background of hybrids that a lot of the pink hybrids that Leon has done that are fragrant use that as Eric Michaeli. There are some taxonomic issues there, so you may see it referred to as Rhodokyla, subspecies Rhodokyla, but I will say that I am firmly on the side of that being its own. And that is also a Eric Michaeli hybrid flamingo, which came from Leon Glitzenstein, and that has the dark spot at the base of the lip, like Eric Michaeli. Some of them are fragrant, some of them are not, but it also has carnea, which has beautiful spotted leaves in it. So that makes, you know, a very nice hybrid. And as a judge, the form on any carnea hybrid is excellent, usually flat and round segments. And unfortunately, the first generation of carnea hybrids are usually pink, but you can find some outliers if you cross it with something that is a third generation carnea. So there's a lot of experimenting to do. And that's actually one of my hybrids, kind of the speculative thing, using Medusa crossed with damselfly. And damselfly also has Medusa. So you end up with something that has white fringe. And that, what did I named it Feather Star. I just registered it.
Hi everybody, I'm Jim Roberts from Florida Suncoast Orchids, and just welcome to this short clip about some of the orchids that I brought to the wonderful nursery Waldor Orchids in Linwood, New Jersey. And we've got lots of different Cattleyas, which is my specialty, along with some Encyclias and some Schomburkias. I'll just take show you a few of them today. We have really nice plants that are in the intermediate size. Suncoast Sienna Stars is a nice sienna red color. It blooms a couple times a year, stays compact, nicely fragrant. We do things like this that have intermediate size with Brassivola, and their max height is about 12 to 14 inches that will survive well up here in the cooler climates. All of these are brand new hybrids, which I have made over the last 20 years. And I like to do Encyclias, mostly in Cattleyas, and also some Schomburkias, of which this is one of the newer hybrids right here. And that's a hybrid between L.C. Lori Ann and Schomburkia albopurpurea. It gets 20 to 25 flowers on a stem twice a year, and you can grow it just like a Cattleya. Some other ones that are really nice that I brought today. This one here is actually Encyclia phoenicia, and that comes from Cuba and the Bahamas, and it smells just like chocolate. It needs high bright light and good drying out in the winter months to make itself bloom. Lovely plant. Here's one we got a little bit crazy with once upon a time, and we did a hybrid between an Encyclia and a Schomburkia, and we called it Tequila Shots, which is an intermediate size of both plants that takes intermediate light and again grows in a wide range of conditions. We have standard orchids like this one, which is a lovely plant. It's half Schomburkia and half Cattleya, and it smells like pepper and floral fragrance. Not a harsh pepper, but real spicy fragrance. It's lovely and easy to grow as well. Some of the other more compact plants that we've got working here is a cute little red one right here that's hybridized with an Encyclia that comes from Venezuela. And the first one came out brilliant red, and I yelled out, "Hot diggity," and that's what we named it. So these are compact plants that will do well on a windowsill. A few other ones, the Cattleyas down here again with Encyclias and more of those. Suncoast Suntan is a gorgeous plicata hybrid. And then we've got Phoenicias and other ones as well. Intermediate size, they get 50 to 80 flowers on a single stem, and they can last 6 to 12 weeks in flower, and they bloom in the summertime, so you can grow them outside up here. It's a great plant. A few rare ones, like this Encyclia cordigera, but it's the Alba variety. And there was only ever one found in the jungle for more than 25 or 30 years. And eventually they found a second and started sib crossing, and they've got more of them now. But it's a unique and very rare Encyclia, which is quite nice. Also compact. Almost anyone can grow these. So with that, we'll just pass a few along on this side, and I wish all of you were able to come down here. It's a great time. Talk to Dave at Waldor Orchids. And for that, I'll say goodbye. Thanks very much.
All right, hi guys. My name's Philip Hamilton. I'm here at the Waldor Open House. Our company is Bredren Orchids. We specialize in a lot of novelty Phalaenopsis, but then we also carry a lot of Broughtonia, Brassivola, Schomburkia type hybrids that mainly my dad's been doing over the years. So we brought a little bit of everything this weekend. So right along here we have several hybrids that my dad has done. You know, this is all cutting edge yellow Browtonia type Cattleya breeding, some Cattleya Schomburkia type stuff. More potential for yellows here. And then we have some fairly cool things like Browtonia cubensis, which you can hardly ever find for sale. It's the first, this last month is the first we've ever had them for sale. You know, really cool things like Cattleya hennesiana, which is the autumn flowering Cattleya skinneri. Used to be known as Cattleya decori or Cattleya skinneri autumnalis. And then some pretty cool things like this is my own. This is my breeding of Cattleya of Encycla cordigera forma rosea. So we have some of those here. We have some of these really cool Epidendrum romera castanedas. These are already flowering size, and we're coming into the flowering season for them. We have some left in 2-inch. We had some in 3s that were all budded up, but those are all sold out. We have the really enchanting, a couple plants left of Brassavola appendiculata. So this is my, the photos are from a couple of my dad's plants. So, you know, these are what the individual flowers look like. And then on specimen plants, that's what you get, just a really impressive flowering on those, really majestic. What else do we have? We have a couple of peach sanguineas left. This is the very first offering of those. That's from some of my own breeding. And those were a continuation of a line my dad started. And then most of the novelty files have already sold out, but we still do this a brand new Mary clone of our awarded plant. This is the first time we're offering those. We have some really cool Cornucervi Cattleyas, so those are the solid red forms of that. What else? A couple of different species from Jamaica. So we have one plant left of wild collected Browtonia sanguinea. And then this is a Tolumnia species from Jamaica. This is Tolumnia triquetra. And this species features heavily in the background of almost all modern day Tolumnia hybrids, especially those that have red in them. So most of your Tolumnia hybrids, that's where the red's coming from, is this species. One of my favorite species, Epidendrum Sanfordianum. We have one plant left of that. And then one of my all-time favorite Schomburkias, or what's now called Myrmecophila, that's Myrmecophila albopurpurea. These are young plants in 3-inch pots. We had some slightly larger ones that flowered already earlier this year. So a lot of people think of Myrmecophilas as really large growing plants, but that group of albopurpurea, Thomsoniana aurea, they're all fairly compact growing and they'll flower young. So these will be flowering size next year in the same 3-inch pot. And they stay compact, you know, spikes are only about that tall. So they don't get out of hand like some of the other Myrmecophilas do. This is a really cool little Tolumnia hybrid from Cayman, Cuba, and the Bahamas. This is Tolumnia calaquila. It's different from almost all the other Tolumnias in that it has terete leaves. They don't have the strap leaves like a Vanda does. Small flowers that are extremely fragrant. They have a very strong citrus fragrance. It's unbelievable the amount of fragrance that comes from that little flower. So those are really cool. And once we sold out of those, I'll be done with those for sale for here on the website for the rest of the year. So those are the last 3 that we're going to have. What else do we have over here? You can see several things have sold off already. We brought a few of these because Rene Marquez is always in high demand. We've been sold out of them for about a year now. We have just a handful of plants left. And then along here features a lot of my dad's breeding. Some are mine with a lot of dads. So this is Brassavola times Cattleya. So you're going to get yellows and reds that are going to flower several times a year, large heads of flowers. This is Yellowbird times Cattleya jalapa. So these have been flowering anywhere from the yellow with the red spots all the way to solid red purples like you see here. Very variable. Similar to my dad's hybrid of Hamlin's Magic and Anstagloodon. So you can see a lot of variation in the flowers there. So we can never tell, unless it's in flower, we can never tell you what color that particular plant's going to be. We can just give you an idea as to some of the variation that you can expect.
And I saw this one here. It's beautiful.
This is one of my dad's hybrids, named for very good friends of his, Cattleya Memoria Alistair David Gray. So that's a new release also. And then we also now have our own line of yellow why nots. So these are some that I have bred. And then the last thing that last two things I'd like to show you. One is this Cowie Starbright times appendiculata. This is a hybrid of my dad's. We flowered about 3 of them so far. They're all a very soft yellow, nice star-shaped flower. Very cool. Highly limited on those. We don't have many of those for sale. Either here or on the website. And then another cool hybrid of his is Summer Spot times Laelia landsai, which used to be a Schomburkia. That's a Schomburkia species from Jamaica. So those are the two parents, and then these are pretty much what the flowers look like. Some of them like this dark, some of them a little bit lighter with the purple, but always all of them have had the spots so far. And the shape is has been pretty standard on those. And these are husky growing plants. These are some of the smaller plants that I brought. The bigger ones were too big to bring. And they were coming into the flowering season for those also. So just an idea, some of the stuff that we brought, we always try to bring a mix of a lot of different things rather than just concentrate on a few things. We have a little bit of everything for everybody. And if we run out of stuff here, we've always got, if we have it available on the website, we ship throughout the U.S. also.
All right, hi, I'm Alan Koch, Gold Country Orchids. We're located northeast of Sacramento in the Central Valley. In fact, we're in the last citrus belt in the state of California. And so one of the things I specialize is in miniature Cattleyas. I love to have plants that are easy to grow on a windowsill and vibrant colors. That's one of my hybrids that's blooming for the first time, 14 months out of flask. And if you grow orchids, you learn to be patient with orchids. But I do a lot of miniatures. Like this is the national flower of Japan. It's fragrant. It's called Neophonetia falcata, and recently it's been changed to the genus Vanda. But you can get 8 to 10 flowers on an inflorescence and multiple inflorescences. So like in a 3-inch pot, you can get over 75 flowers on it. So it's a wonderful thing. And then like for the terrarium growers, well, look at how tiny that plant is, and there's a flower spike coming on the plant. And this plant photosynthesizes from its roots, so we grow it in a clear pot. But yeah, we do a lot of species. In fact, one of my favorites is if you go down onto the leafless one. Here's a modified plant that has learned to get all of its photosynthesis from its roots, no leaves. And so here's a case where definitely roots cannot be optional on a plant. But one of my workers got the idea of mounting it on a wine cork because they like to dry well. And so we love doing it on wine corks. It's kind of fun. But yeah, that's what I do. A lot of African species I specialize. This grows just like a Phalaenopsis, super easy to grow in a south or east window in the home, and it's Arangus harriotiana. So I really try to specialize on plants that people can grow in the home.
Now, in addition to the vendors and the amazing plants blooming inside Waldor, they also had outreach judging hosted by the American Orchid Society, where folks could actually bring their plants and hopefully get an award. And some folks did. But here's a look at the inside of the judging and some of the incredible blooms that were on display and up for a possible award. But what an amazing event and a great opportunity to learn about AOS judging for folks who might be new to this topic or interested in getting their orchids judged in the future. Really great learning opportunity at Waldor. All right, everybody, that's going to conclude my tour of the Waldor Orchids 100-year anniversary open house. I want to thank the Waldor team for letting me bring this amazing video to each and every one of you. Congratulations, Waldor, on 100 years of incredible growing. I want to thank you all for watching. I'm Brian from Orchids by Brian. I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.